Well, hello. My name's Ernie. I live here in Palmer. What I'm going to share tonight is probably different than what many others will share, and I'm very honored to be able to go first. I write little stories about love and angels and nature and other things, and I share them online. On my own profile, those of you who live in Palmer probably see me post on the Palmer Facebook group. You're welcome to follow me or follow my page, Messages of Love. That's where I share these. So I'm very happy to share 3 very short stories with you tonight. This first one is called Her Daddy. She had always dreamed of her parents being with her at her wedding. Of course, many people would hope for that. But some years before she would, her dad passed away unexpectedly. And as she stood so beautifully dressed at the altar that day, her face streaked with tears, beside her and slightly behind her was her dad's soul. He appeared younger, seemingly about the age he was when she was a little girl, and looked so full of life and love. For the whole ceremony, he was there by her side. She may not have seen him, but she could feel him. He, of course, was on her mind the whole time. He whispered in her ear, asking for a dance, and she smiled brightest of all, memorialized in the picture that had a little spot of light next to her head. It came in the photo package from the photographer as imperfect extras, but was the one she framed and displayed by the bed, knowing it was a family photo with her dad by her side. And I wrote that one because my dad actually passed away about a year ago, and although I had hoped both my parents could be present for when I get married someday, I know his soul will be there with me, him in spirit. Thank you very much. This next one is called Sit With Me for a While. I wrote it quite a long time ago, and for a while it was one of my very favorites. Wow, she's so beautiful, he thought. Sitting over by the water was the most magnificent girl he had ever seen. To describe how gorgeous she was would just be too much. We just don't have the words to explain the deepest of beauty we see in life. He walked over to her, very peacefully matching the peacefulness of her presence. She was looking out at the water and smiling so bright. Her joy emanating from her body powerfully drew him in. "May I sit with you?" he asked. "Oh yes," she said. "Sit with me for a while." And he knew she really meant it. She wasn't just being courteous, she really welcomed him in to be there with her in that moment. She looked at him with the most loving smile. "Tell me about all the things that nobody knows about you," she said to him. That request, the most intimate he had ever received, started their conversation that spanned the entirety of that afternoon sunlight before it filtered behind the trees. It was the deepest conversation he had ever had and may ever have. And as the songs from the birds in the trees waned and the chirps of the frogs waxed, this beautiful girl who he had been with all afternoon said to him, "I love you so very much." And then he noticed what really had been there the whole time, the wings that enveloped him from the beautiful girl he too knew he loved. "You're my guardian angel," he whispered with comforting amazement. "I am," she replied. "I'm always with you, and I love you." She smiled and brought his hand in hers. "Sit with me for a while, anytime." And I was pleasantly surprised, along with all the angels that are here with us. There are some beautiful statues of angels over there that I was admiring before we started this evening. This last one I wrote very recently, and I think it connects very well with the majority of what we will experience here tonight, music. I very simply called it What a G Chord Sounds Like. You might know what a G chord sounds like. Oh, but you don't know how the reverberation truly sounded that moment when he played it and she began to sing. And there's probably nothing about the words of their ordinary love song that would strike a chord of surprise within you. Still, laced within each phrase they've written is the most powerful of love each of them has known. No one else will feel the reverence between them as they stepped into the recording studio together to create their first songs. Their music, though, would resonate with the hearts and souls of people they will never know. Some people are just meant to come together, he's saying. And they didn't know if it was for romance or friendship or simply to bring to life something beautiful through their music. But this moment here with you means everything to me. She brought to resolution their ballad with. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Again, I want to say you can follow me on Facebook if you're interested in reading any of those stories I write. Thank you.